So hey everyone, I'm back with the next part. When Fan gets on the bike, Sulang tells him to hold on tightly or he might fall. In the next scene when they both return home, Fan feels thirsty, so Sulang brings him water. Fan takes the glass from Sue's hand and drinks, saying, "You take so much care of everyone." Sue asks, "Why are you feeling jealous?" Fan puts the glass on the table and makes her sit on his lap. Then he kisses her neck. Then he slowly starts to bite. Sulang refuses because yesterday when Tanya asked him, "What happened to your neck?" and he was having a lot of trouble answering, this brings a smile to Fan's face. The next day, when they both return home, they make dinner together. After picking up Tachian from a neighbor's house, the three of them sit down to dinner. In the next scene, Sulang returns to his room after putting Tayan to sleep. Fan Zhao is getting ready to leave as things have been fine between them ever since. Fan never stays at Sulang's house. He leaves after 10 or 11 p.m. and returns the next morning with breakfast. Similarly, today, as he's getting ready, he tells Sulang that he'll be away for 3 days due to business. So can he stay here for the night? But Sulang goes outside the door and signals him to come out, telling him to finish his work as soon as possible and come back. 3 days later, one evening, Sulang orders coffee and is sitting at a restaurant. A waiter comes over and serves him coffee and asks if he wants anything. Sulang holds his hand and says, "I'll give you a tip, but first, I want to taste you." The waiter says, "As your wish." It was none other than Fan Zhao. Another scene shows the staff locker room, where Sulang is kissing Fan while pushing him against the wall. But since his collar is disturbing him, he asks Fan, "Will you unbutton your collar?" Fan quickly unbuttons his. They're still kissing. Just then, someone knocks on the door and a staff member tells Fan, "Fan, are you inside? Quickly, give me back my work clothes. The manager is looking for me." Fan quickly grabs his hand, goes into the washroom and closes the door, as they don't like anyone disturbing them at this time. Then, they start kissing each other. In another scene, Sulang returns and sits down on a chair. Fan is approaching his table with some food. He notices that President C is also present. Seeing Fan approach, President C says to Suling, "So you finally agreed to be with her. You said you'd never look back." Suling says nothing and just smiles. When Fan comes and sits down next to them, Suling puts his hand on her shoulder and says, "This is my lover, and from now on, we'll be together." Fan stands up and introduces himself to the president, serving her a drink. He also says, "I should thank you for helping Suling once. If you hadn't taken Suling away from me that day, who knows what would have happened. I was a bad man back then, but now I've changed. Whatever I did to Suling back then, I know it was very painful for her, but I'll make sure I don't make any mistakes in the future." President C. Solanki looks further and says, "It's very easy to be mean to anyone, but it takes a long time to become a good man after being a bad man. But if you've decided to protect her, then it's fine. I just hope the future is good for both of you. I have to leave now." Then after finishing the drinks glass, she gets up, puts her hand on Suling's shoulder and says, "If you ever feel like you want to close this chapter and move on, come to me. I have lots of contacts. I hope you like them." Suling smiles and agrees. The next day, Sihua is sitting in a car and a girl named An is sitting next to him. She used to be Fan's girlfriend. Now she wants to get back to him. Sihua explains that after facing so many problems, Fan has finally found Suling and they are both happy. So don't create more problems by getting between them at this time. But Suling is not ready to listen. She gets out of the car, she opens the door and heads straight for Fan's house. Our lovebirds are shown there. Sulang had told her that he would move into her house when he returned in 3 days. So today, Sulang has finally arrived at her house. Fan comes in with her luggage. Closing the door, he quickly grabs Sulang's waist, pulls her towards him and kisses her on the lips. Sulang tries to push him away, saying, "Fan, go, what's the hurry? We need to eat something first." But Fan doesn't listen. He kisses her and brings her back into the room. The same laptop is open on the table and the same video of Sulang is paused. When Sue's eyes fall on the laptop screen, she grabs Fan's hair. you were watching that video again? Fan says, stroking her, you have no idea how much I liked you the first time I saw this video, because you looked so attractive then. In the next scene, they are both in bed. Fan is busy kissing her, but after a while, there's a knock on the door. Sulang stops her and says she should go and check. Fan says, no, I'm not going anywhere right now and I won't let you go either. Then he holds her hands and starts kissing her on the neck. But when the knocking on the door continues, Fan becomes a little annoyed. He gets up and opens the door and An is standing. In the next scene, the three of them sit face to face. Fan takes a bowl of soup and hands it to Sulang saying, it's very hot, so drink it slowly. Seeing this, An smiles and says to Fan, so you've learned to cook? Can I not have a little taste? As your girlfriend, I have that right. Fan quickly looks at Sulang and says, she's not my girlfriend. I was just pretending to be her boyfriend. Then he asks An, what do you want from me? I didn't have a boyfriend back then. That's why I pretended to be your boyfriend. But now, I have a lover I love very much. An tells him, who told you to be my boyfriend? You just have to marry me. Fan is surprised. Do you even know what you're talking about? Marriage and you? Why? There are so many people waiting in line to marry you. Choose one of them. An gets up and approaches him, then taking a cigarette from his pocket, she tells him, yes, I know many men are crazy to marry me, but if anyone doesn't like me, it's only you. Look, I'm not asking much of you, just marry me. She starts crying, but Fan knows her drama well. He says, look, don't cry in front of me. You can fool others with your stupid tears, but not me. Tell me what the real thing is. An quickly wipes away her fake tears and tells him everything. There was a man she had dated in Spain and he had just jokingly told her he would marry her, and now he's after her. An's family learnt about him, met him, and then realized he was a good person, and that's why they want An to marry him. But An doesn't want to marry him, and that's the problem. If Fan marries him, this problem will be over. Fan just stares at her angrily. An tells him, look, if I weren't around, your life wouldn't have been this easy. You should be thanking me, because when that accident happened as a child, you were sitting there crying. If I hadn't asked my family to save you, you wouldn't be here today. Look, I'm not asking you anything, just marry me, and I have no problem with your love. We'll be together, all three of us. You can still love Mr. Suling after you marry me. Suling, who was sitting nearby, asks An if that person was really bad. An says, no, he was a good person. Suling asks, then what's your problem with marrying him? She says she doesn't want to marry. All right, I'll be back soon with the next part. See you soon. Ta-ta.